the government was fully prepared to crack down, to use complete brutal force. They had surrounded Jantar Mantar, and additional troops were also on their way. Despite all this, the government accepted the resignation and tried to close this matter. Now, some people on social media are saying, well, look, if they were going to accept the demands, they should have done it earlier. Why was all this allowed to happen? People wanted it because all kinds of anti-national and anti-social elements had joined that so-called protest, and the data on this is already received. So everyone felt that, man, brutal force should be used against them now. So before that, the education minister's resignation has already come in, and according to the latest information coming in, Prahlad Joshi ji has been given the education ministry to handle temporarily. The interesting thing here is that the government was fully prepared to crack down, to use complete brutal force. The whole of Jantar Mantar was surrounded, and additional troops were also on their way. Despite all this, the government accepted the resignation, and they tried to get this closed. So, first of all, we will understand that sometimes, and you might have seen it too, that Saurav Das and Abhishek, what was his name? Ranka something. The way both of them uh, were sitting there with JP Nadda ji and Dr. Jitendra Singh. And then in that joint press conference, they announced that we are now declaring this protest closed because all our conditions have been accepted by them. So after this, people are feeling that, obviously, I have also tweeted about this, that if this was political, which it was, this whole thing was a political protest, there were no students, maybe not more than 5 to 10% of innocent students were actually gathered there. Their next set of demands, political demands, should be coming up. This is what all the right wingers are expecting, that they will not just wrap up from Jantar Mantar, and that their new demands will come. While Saurav Das and Ranka, who were both involved in the negotiations, announced right there at the press conference that we are now withdrawing this protest. And since the government has already accepted all of our demands, we will not take this any further. So the latest information coming from Jantar Mantar is that some people are leaving while others are still sticking it out there even now. This shows that the three main cockroaches of the CJP, the main cockroaches, the lead cockroaches, even those who listen to them, since it was not even their crowd, why would they listen to them? So it is obvious that the crowd is still sitting at Jantar Mantar, despite the fact that Saurav and Abhishek announced that the protest is over, officially over. So now, whatever crackdown preparations the government has made, now this will be observed for a day or two at most. And if it is not emptied, then that action will come. That action which everyone wants to see. Now we have to understand how this deal was made. Uh, Whenever a deal is made, both parties involved must be interested. Otherwise, a deal cannot be signed at all. I mean, both must be interested in closure, first of all. What could be the government's interest in closing this? First of all, the government's, and in the next 2 to 3 weeks, whatever they have to bring to parliament, whatever important bills, whatever it is, things that have not been announced. People have some idea that something might come on FCRA. There are other things too. Many things are pending, so anything could come. So any such controversial thing that is coming up in the near future, for which the government is in a hurry to close this, It is very, very clear that some controversial bill is coming, which could lead to protests. Now, the government would not want these CJP people to join them and have this continue, especially continue until 15 August. And some foreign countries would want this to continue until September. Why? Because in September we are going to host the BRICS summit in Delhi. So you can understand which set of countries would want this to continue until September in Delhi. Because we are hosting the BRICS summit 2026 in Delhi around the first or second week of September. So some countries would definitely want these protests to continue. Now you can understand the government side, that they have to bring some urgent bills that could be controversial, where more protesters could join in, so their emergency and hurry to close this makes sense. But why these people would want to close it, you have to understand that too. Look, on the day the parliament march was planned, all three of them were absent. These three main cockroaches were absent on the 20th. Even after that, with the way the police force was preparing to surround and crack down around Jantar Mantar at that time, Shabana Azmi also said she have fallen ill. Deepke also said he have got typhoid. So they also realized that some action was about to happen. So it is better if we just stay sick. So the two lead cockroaches who sat for negotiations, they probably understood that this is the last chance if we do not accept the government's closure. Then after this, everything from a brutal crackdown to whatever action possible, all of it will happen. So this side also understood that now full on action is going to happen. And on that side, the government has some emergency that they have to bring some controversial bills. So they wanted closure. That is understandable. So parties on both sides understood that it is better to just let this close. As far as the government is concerned, you should understand that if the government wanted to have this close, even though they were completely ready for action, all the battalions were there, and Jantar Mantar was totally surrounded. Connaught Place had been shut down by 6:30. They could do it again. They had even shut down the metro stations. They were fully prepared for action. Despite all this, they preferred to have it closed. So what was that urgency? And I do not know which bill it is because of which this was closed so quickly. Let us see how it goes next week. But always be prepared for these kinds of surprises in politics. Because the issue is simply that the opposition is lazy. So for the work that Rahul Gandhi could not do, they set up the Aam Aadmi Party. Now Aam Aadmi Party has also become lazy. So for the work it could not do, it set up the Cockroach Janata Party. It is as simple as that. It is just a case of laziness. As simple as that. Neither Rahul is able to do the work, nor is Kejriwal able to play any genuine opposition role. Fine, he's already caught in all that corruption in the Sheesh Mahal, the liquor case and excise duty. His credibility is already at an all-time low. So these new cockroaches were raised from a section of the Aam Aadmi Party itself, trying to become a genuine opposition, but they are just little kids. They do not know politics. They do not know anything. So an attempt has been made to set them up, but now we will see how long they can last. Now, what is this? Gadkari next. Let's see if the CJP or someone like that makes demands. Look, the government was already going to do a cabinet reshuffle, brother. Whatever was going to happen was already bound to happen in the cabinet reshuffle. It was going to happen to Dharmendra ji as well. Okay. So now they had to speed it up because 15th August is also coming. Maybe they have to bring some other controversial bill in which now it is expected that there will not be any protests now because the whole budget for protests has already been spent before the bill. So hopefully it won't be in the new one. And okay, let's go. Okay, so some people who are speaking on social media are saying, well, look, if their demands had to be accepted, then they should have been accepted earlier. Why was all this made to happen? No, brother. You have to understand one thing, that Every time a protest happens, there is 1.5 years of planning going on behind it. If a protest of this scale is happening, it has been planned for 1.5 years, brother. Don't you need the data for that entire network? And when you say we should have just agreed earlier to stop it, brother, it just does not work like that. If you had just agreed earlier, then all this funding that was being used for all these days, do you know where that funding would have been used instead? What kind of things would it have been used for? So whenever you are getting data, you should take the data for the entire network, who is planning what and how, in which country, and on what date the meeting happened, at which location, and who exactly went there from here. You need this data. Do not say that if we had to agree, we should have done it earlier. Because if we had, how would we have gotten all this data? This is how data was collected, that the old rioters came out freely, which is very good. Which is good. That shows that these were not even genuine protesters. Those who had gathered at Jantar Mantar, like it was India's Got Talent. But this data that has been collected is on those old repeat offenders. To tighten the noose around these repeat offenders, you need data, right? Suppose those who participated in Shaheen Bagh, who participated in the farmers' protest, have done it this time too. And this time, what has come from Delhi police sources at least, is that they will cancel passports. They will not even get jobs. When their background checks are done, then all these so-called seasoned professional protesters are going to be in big trouble. Do not forget that. Do not think that they have escaped. Now, where do the right wingers, especially analysts like me, have a problem? This is exactly where our problem is. It is that, brother, when a crowd demands something and you give your resignation based on that, we agree, we even wrote ourselves that he should have resigned. But if you resign just because a crowd is demanding it, then this will set an example, and they will repeat this in the future, and they will bring a new set of demands. Then what will you do? This is a genuine concern for the entire right wing. It is not just about the viewers you are hearing from. All analysts agree, the left wing agrees, and the right wing agrees that this example has been set. Tomorrow, a crowd will gather again with some nonsense demand. They will think, yeah, they listened before, so they will listen this time too. So a bad example has been set for the future. No one can even dispute this fact. Brother, why does the BJP become soft where others are aggressive? Look, as long as you now understand one thing, when it comes to internal security, except for the issue of radicalism, as long as there is Gujarati leadership, they will try to solve things through economic and other means. As far as Bharatiya citizens are concerned, uh, when it comes to action against Pakistan or Bangladesh, or doing that unknown gunman type of work, Gujarati leadership would be very pro. If war needs to be declared, that is also okay. But when it is about our own citizens who are not directly linked to radicals, that sort of thing, then there will always be an attempt to solve it through economic and other ways. Now, if you want to view this as negative, you can take it negatively. All right. So it is not about BJP, it is about the leadership's mindset that the nation's economy should not be disturbed. We have to bring reforms, but not by disturbing the economics. If anyone wants to contribute, there is a QR code right up here. Everyone, please give this video a like and do share this with your community, especially with those who find politics a bit hard to understand. Jai Jinendra and Jai Hind.